Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome to week 31 of Build Your Stash and Craft. This week we are going to do dendritic printing, and I saw this originally from Shannon Green, and this is just so fun to play with. Grandpa saw it this morning and said he thinks it's one of the best ones we've done so far. So just to give you a little heads up there. So what we needed for this week was we needed some baby wipes and we needed 2 acrylic frames from the Dollar Tree. Now these frames do have this stand on the bottom to stand them up like this. So what you're going to need to do, I film on boxes here. I just have a box to get me closer to the camera. So I have put that edge over the top of, or over the edge of my box so that it sits flat on top of my surface. You don't want to sit it like this. That would be really hard to do, and you would probably break it when you pressed on it. So you'll need to put it on the edge of your table or on the edge of a box. Just grab a box and put it on there. On this one, I have just flipped over the picture that comes in it just so that you'll be able to see it really well. And so we will get started. We're going to need some papers and our paints and a paintbrush and some water to rinse your paintbrush. So what you're going to do with dendritic printing, it makes the most beautiful prints, and you can use them for anything. And I will start, let's just start with purple. So all you have to do is you just take one of your acrylic frames and you just put some paint on it and then spread it out. So I need to get the water off my brush here a little bit. Okay, and then just spread out your paint. Don't worry about paint lines or anything. Those are all going to go away. So just go ahead and spread it out. Now you can make this as large or as small as you want to. If you wanted to just do like an ATC, you could just spread the size that is the size of an ATC, and that would work just fine. If you want to do almost a whole page, then just cover as much of your frame as you can, and that will give you more of a whole page. And just spread this out. You don't want it super thin. It also does not need to be super thick. Just a nice even coat of paint. And then what you're going to do, get rid of my brush here, is take your other frame, place it flat side down so our little thing is sticking up. Just place it flat side down right onto your other one. Just line them up and then just press. You want to make contact everywhere. So just press it down. I'm not sure if my box is giving me good pressure. I'm going to kind of like do it like this, and you can already see what's happening. You just want to make sure that you press it down everywhere, because wherever you don't press them together, you're not going to get much of a print. And then what you're going to do is as you lift this off, air is going to push its way in and it's going to move the paint. So I'm just going to carefully lift from this corner and just continue lifting, and that is what we have. And then here, let's see, where's that other piece of paper? I'll show you this one closer. This is what dendritic printing is. It looks kind of like trees. It looks like seaweed. It just looks like the best abstract that you could make. Now you can see places here where I did not make contact and my paint is solid. And I think that's because my box is just giving way a little bit too much, because when I do it on the table it works much better. I'm just using one of my papers that I didn't care for this side of. And this was one of the shaving cream papers. Just smooth that all out, peel it off, and look at that print. Isn't that gorgeous? It is so pretty. And then you can usually get 2 prints out of one. You'll get one very heavily colored print, and then you'll get one that's light colored. And then don't forget, you've also got the other piece. See how light that is? But we also have this piece that we peeled off the top. And these are actually opposites of each other. So where the air moved the paint on the bottom, it moved it to touch the top. So you don't really notice a lot, but if you look closely, you'll notice that they are opposites of each other. So that's what that one turned out like. Now we got our baby wipes so that we can wipe this off. And then if you save your baby wipes and just let them dry out, you can cut them into circles and make really pretty little flowers out of them. So don't forget that, don't throw your baby wipes away. They really do make, they make nice texture in your projects also. When I was going to try and see if I sprayed a little bit of water on here, after I was done lifting a print, if it would give me another print. Let's try that with this one. Let's see what happens if we spray some water. This is just a light mist, and this is just an old perfume bottle. It had like body sprays in it. And let's see what that does for us. Nothing. Okay, well at least now we know. So I'm going to use a different color next time, so I'm going to wipe this purple off. The only thing with this is you have to be careful because it's very addicting. So you could go through all your paint and all your paper in one setting, I think. But so, and a lot of times people say, well, okay, you've made that. What are you going to use it for? You could use these for ATC backgrounds. You could use them for journal covers. You could use them for little pieces of art. You know, use them as seaweed. Use them as trees in your background. You can use them just to make little buttons, any kind of embellishment decorations. Okay, so the other thing that you can do is you can use more, better wash the paint off my brush. You can use more than one color, and that also looks really neat. I am going to wipe this off with a paper towel, with these cheapy paper towels. I can't wait till they're gone. And I'm going to remember to wipe off my other one too, because I don't want that dampness of the baby wipes in there. And so I'm going to use some yellow and some red, just kind of dot it around. And should I use cream? Yeah, I think I'm just going to use the yellow and well, that's kind of an orangey yellow. It's not really yellow. Like I said, it doesn't have to be super thick, so remember that, so you don't use more paint than you need to. And then just spread it out. Whenever I mix colors, what I like to do, and I really usually start with the lightest, I don't know why I started with the red, but spread out one color and then spread out the other color. That way your colors don't get totally mixed with each other, because I like the looks of the way that they streak together and everything. But if you do it all at once and just pick up both colors all at once, eventually it just all becomes one color. Oh, this is really pretty. Now, I'm going to really quickly set this. I'm going to move my boxes and set this on the edge of my table and throw everything else all over the floor. Okay, let me move this over a little bit so you can see it. Grab my other one. Line them up and press it down everywhere. Make sure that you get good contact over the whole thing. And then the nice thing about these is they have this edge on the frame, so you can use that. Now I'm going to actually push this back down. Last time I kind of lifted this way. This time I'm going to lift this way. And that's going to let the air move in that direction, and that's going to make my printing more up and down. See how we have that now? Before they went this way, now they're going this way. It's because of the way that I lifted my glass. And I'm just going to grab another piece of paper. I'm going to try, now that is such a pretty print. I'm going to, I'm going to put it on the back of this one. I was going to try putting it on the front and see what it looked like with the blue in the background. But I really like those colors and everything, so I'm going to just pull it off that way. And that is gorgeous. Grab another one. This one I'll put on top of what I've got. Probably not the smartest thing to do to mix blues and reds, but my blues are dry, so hopefully it won't turn into mud. And there we go. That's just got a little bit of a ghost print on there. Now don't forget, you've still got this one. And you may want to work fairly fast so that your paints don't dry. And this is just one of my jelly prints that I did not like. I'm just using the back side of this. And even if I liked it, I like having double-sided paper so that if I'm making something like a flower or something like that, I'm stuck under my tripod there. And there we go. And that is how you do the dendritic printing. Now, one other thing that I wanted to show you, and actually, because I don't know where I am at time, I'm going to stop right here, upload this, and I'll be right back to show you another thing. Okay, I'm back, and there's just a couple more things I wanted to do before we called it the end of the video. I'm going to put some red and some pink on my thing, and I'm just going to do a little bit. Got little crusties on there. I don't want those on there, because I'm just going to kind of spread this just around the middle. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to take a piece of my paper and I'm going to cut a heart out of it. I don't know what I'm doing, flipping it around, but I'm just going to cut a heart out of the middle. There we go. And then I just want to make sure that I spread this paint around enough that that heart will fit, that it will stick out all the way around that heart. So I'm just going to spread this out a little bit and smooth it out. If you have really thick places, that's where it tends to actually not work as good as not the thinner, because I don't want you to think that it should be a thin coat. Just kind of a regular coat. And I left this on the table because I figured it does work better on this harder surface. I'm just going to take my other one, press it down all over, making sure I come into contact everywhere. You see, and I've got places that are actually kind of extra thin that are not working as well either. So you just want just a nice level coat. Which way do I want these ones to go? I think I'm going to go sideways. Lift it up like this. And there we go. And then I'm going to put this on here. Like that. And then take another piece of paper. And just smooth that out so that I'm going to just have, hopefully, because I haven't tried this, but I'm just going to have a dendritic heart on this piece of paper right now. Make sure that you get all the way around, get by your edges, because even though that paper underneath is just a piece of paper, if you don't actually rub close to those edges, this piece of paper will not get down in there. And you'll have spots that you're missing. So take your time. You could use your stencils to do this. I wanted to do this so that I'd have a little bit on the other, a little bit of the dendritic on my back paper there. And I didn't want to waste my paint on my stencil when I could use it this way. So there we go. There's our dendritic heart. It's not quite as dark as I would have liked it to be. The pink that I put on was not dark enough to show up on this backing paper, but it still looks cool. I can go around that with, and then there's some dendritic around the edges of that heart. So let's just see if I can. And I also just did this is just a piece of cardboard, and I put some cream colored paint on it and let it dry. And I just wanted to put some of the dendritic on here because I want to use this for like inchies and ATCs. And I thought that that would look pretty. So there we go. That's what it looks like on the, let me see here. I am going to do some, I want to put a little more on, I want more on here. I'm trying to decide what color I want to put on there. I think I'm going to go back to the orange. And maybe I'll just do orange. Now it's probably because this is, you know, the paint is solid. It's not thin. It's probably going to cover up most of the red that I've already got on here, but that's okay with me. Because I just wanted to get that whole, I want to cover that whole thing. Or most of it anyways. I'm just going to get this spread out. And yeah, so I hope that you give this a try. It is really fun, really addicting. And if you do it and you make some stuff with it, I'd love to see what you make with it. And I'd love to see what your papers turn out like. I haven't done this in quite a while, and I forgot just how fun it is. Oh, I don't want that. Now, I did not take my red off of here, so we'll see what happens with that. Press it down really well everywhere. This is the one that I usually put on the bottom, so I've still got my kitty cat on here. Just make sure that I spread it everywhere. And the thing is, you don't want to do this with glass unless you've got like 1/4 inch thick glass that has sanded edges. If you do it with glass that doesn't have this nice little handle on it for you, you have to stick like a knife between it to get it started to pull apart. But so you definitely want those edges sanded. And but you definitely do not want to do this with a piece of glass that you get out of a picture frame. This is acrylic. If you do it with a piece of glass, let's see, I did that one sideways, so I think I'll do this one like this. If you do it with glass out of a picture frame, it is definitely going to break. You know, it's not going to hold up to this pressure. So do not do this with regular glass unless you've got 1/4 inch tempered glass with sanded edges. Just go ahead and go with acrylic. Let's see what this turned out like. Oh, that's really pretty, and you can see the red through it. That is really pretty, and I'm glad I put that cream on the background because that just gives me a great start. I'm just going to grab up what I have left here. And I'm going to use my other one. I'm going to put it on the other side so that I have some double-sided. I love to have double-sided paper. So, you know, for a lot of things you really don't need it. For tags, you don't need it, and for book covers or anything. But if you're making flowers or different little embellishments, sometimes you just need that double-sided. So you just make your own, and it's very pretty. I'm just going to turn it this way and pick up what I've got left. There. So that's it. That's dendritic printing. And these are the prints that we got with it. Now, this one is very light colored, but they're gorgeous, and they can just be used for so many things. I'm going to make some tags with these. I got the little bit around the edge of my heart. I do like the way this turned out, even though it's not dark enough. It looks really cool. You could kind of do that in a shattered heart page. So, and then here we've got the purple going up and down. And just remember, whichever way you lift your, if you lift it like that or you lift it like that, that's the way that your little lines are going to go. There's an off one. Look at that. I mean, I can just see scenery here. I can just see like grass. It's all just grass going back. It's just, you can see so many different things in these, and you look at them and you see something in them, pick that out and, you know, draw around that. Make that part of your project. So I hope that you enjoyed this project. It's very simple and very fun to do. And like Grandpa said, one of the best ones we've done so far. I'll be right back in just a second to show you what we need for next week. I just wanted to do a really quick insert here about these picture frames. When you're not using them, you can go ahead and put some of your artwork in there to display your artwork in your art space. But if you don't remember to clean them off when you're done using them and you let the paint sit and dry, you won't be able to do that because it doesn't come off. I have soaked these and scrubbed them. And I don't want to scrub really hard because you need a nice smooth surface. So yeah, I do want to scrub them with a scrubby or something, but yes, both of them are now stained yellow and orange or red or something. So I just wanted to show you that. Make sure that as soon as you're done with that printing, go ahead and wipe it off with your baby wipe so that you don't wind up with your plastic all stained, and that could even make an effect on how nice your prints come out. So make sure that you wipe those before or after every use, after each time that you take all of your prints off, so that you don't wind up with it like that. Okay, be right back to show you what we need for next week. Okay, I'm back to show you what we are going to need for next week. Next week we are going to need a vinyl placemat from the Dollar Tree. Well, from anywhere, but it does need to be vinyl with a nice wipeable surface. Don't pick up one that's material or bamboo or anything like that. We want it to have a nice wipeable surface, and we want it to have a little bit of cush to it. This is probably about 1/16 of an inch thick. We are going to cut this down the middle the long way and then into thirds like this. So if it's going to matter to you what pictures are on the front, if you have something with a big pretty picture in the front and you think we're going to use the whole thing and then you have to cut it up, I just kind of wanted to let you know that. I didn't pick this up because it had the coffee cups on it, and then I was just thinking that, wow, that's going to, like be one on each piece. So this again is a 100% vinyl placemat from the Dollar Tree, and that's $1 for this week, so that leaves us with $4 saved, and that's $13 in the bank. So week after next we will be able to get our heat gun. So this is all of our papers. I just kind of folded them all in half so that I could get them all on there. This one on this end and this one on this end are the ones I showed Papa this morning, so I thought I would add his to the group. I really do appreciate all of your support, and thank you all so very much for watching. It's been very encouraging, and I'm still excited each week to make a new video and show you something different than we can make with our supplies. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.